And welcome back to WSJU Radio, the number one college radio station all over New York City. You've probably seen his merch everywhere in New York. We got straight out of the Motherland's owner, CEO, Mo in the building. How's it going?
Good, bro. How are you? How's everything?
Everything's going good. How's it going? Tell me, how's life?
Life is good, bro. Right now I'm going through Ramadan, so, I'm just chilling, staying home, and just letting the day goes by.
How much does faith play a role in your life?
It's everything, to be honest. It's everything. I grew up into my religion. I was born into it, so pretty much it's been with me all my life. And I always knew that with anything that you want to do in general, you have to have some type of faith. And, Muslim is my religion. That's my path of faith.
Okay. And, like I said before, you're the CEO straight out of the Motherland. Take me back from the first time you had the idea. Like, not even before, like, what's it called? You start making it. I'm talking about, like, the first time, like, I want to make a clothing brand.
Mm-hmm. So, I was living in Long Island at the time, and I was coming from college. I was at a community college. Me and my boy Rao, we was in school together. I ended up doing one semester. No, I ended up doing a full year of school. And for my second year, I wanted to do school in the city. And the idea came around August, the same time I was going to enroll in college again. I began to just brainstorm. On just ideas on how I wanted to move forward with just life in general. So the brand Straight Out the Motherland was already created before me. And it was in the hands of my brother. So this is the real story. It started off with him having to order a large quantity of clothes. Okay? And it was shirts at the time. And when they landed at the house, like, he didn't really have a market. You understand? So he had plenty of quantity, but didn't really know what to do with it. So one time he flew out to Vegas, and I ended up staying at the house by myself. I ended up grabbing his car, took all of the product, and I loaded it into the trunk. And it was a good amount of pieces. And I think it was for about like 48 hours I sold all the clothing. And it was basically a surprise to my brother of just, doing something nice for him. He didn't really have the plan, but he had, the product. And I was able to move it within 48 hours. I sold everything. And at the time, he was flying back, picked him up from the airport, and he couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't believe it. I let him take the wheel. We was driving back, and he was just telling me, yo, I know you're about to start school in a couple of days. And I was looking forward to it, but I really wasn't looking forward to school. So he ended up telling me, like, I want you to take this serious from now on, that this should be something that you should take serious. And from there, I really thought about it, because I always used to think, if school would really be a way for me to go. But this time, it wasn't that big of a deal, because it was more of like, just take a semester off and see how it goes. So I took the semester off, and the whole August happened. I sold out on the shirts. The shirts was gone. We had hoodies that came. I sold the rest of the hoodies, and the month after August, September came, and my birthday was on the 28th, and I ended up being in China for that. So within a month, thought I was going to be going to school. Next month, I was in China, restocking on more products. And by the time I landed back to New York, people would just start to know about the clothing, and it was just spreading quickly within the youth.
So your brother just hand you the keys to it, or does he still have like a say in it now?
Yeah, we're both co-owners
Okay.
of the business itself.
Okay. And I see that you said you took a semester off to focus. Was like your parents supportive about it? That you took like a semester off of school to focus on your dream. Making this into a big clothing brand. Like, were they supportive of you at first, or how was that?
They ain't know. They didn't know I took a semester off. I just always told them I had online classes.
Okay.
I always told them I had online classes. That's the real truth.
Okay. So when they watch this interview, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, I'm kind of grown now. I take care of my own responsibilities. So it's different when you first go to school and they send you off. They really care and they hope you taking the right steps. But now, like, I've shown in many different ways that I'm able to take care of myself and also take care of others as well. So they do believe in the vision for sure. But when it comes to school, that's gonna be my decision. That's something that I want to do and decide on my own.
And where did you learn so well to market? That takes a lot of creativity and stuff like that. Just like to pack it up and just take it. Like, where did you learn that?
hmm So when I first started, all the strength that I had was basically just selling product. I was very good at selling product. I started off with selling to friends, and from there, I always was able to sell product of clothing because I've always been dressing since I was young. So it was easy for me to get the product out. So when it got to really trying to grow the brand within the rest of New York City, um, it had to be deeper than just about just selling. So I decided to shoot more like creative things. Try to hold off on more pop-ups. Try to find ways to get people to see the brand as more of a movement and not as just clothing, something that's deeper. So for me, the marketing is everything, but it's also organic. You know what I'm saying? Like, my marketing was basically things that had to do with being out and about. So everything that was seen on Instagram or whatever it is, that people look at as the source of marketing, is basically just how I would go about certain things. If I know if I have a pop-up shop, it'll be a way to market specifically for that type of theme. So every theme was like just organic in its own.
Right. And I have to respect that you're able to sell your clothing to your friends and family, because a lot of people, when they start making clothes, and you reach out to your friends and family like, oh, can I get one for free? The fact that all your friends and family were even paying it, supporting it, and you're able to sell it. Because how do you feel when like friends are like, oh, you're my friend, so can I get that hoodie for free? Or I'm your family member, can I get this jacket for free? How do you feel about that in those situations?
I'm gonna be very honest. I never really got that too much where I could really remember and comment on it, because once again, I started off with sales. And when I first started off with sales, the night before, I was reaching out to about like 20 people, literally. Like, if I were to scroll into like certain Instagrams, I could probably find times where I was left on scene, from the 20 people that I reached out to. I had a couple that reached back, but long story short was I basically jumped right into sales. So with that being said, everyone around me was basically willing to purchase because they seen the hustle that I had. So the question of them asking items for free wasn't really an option, because the way they seen the brand was me selling the product and people supporting. So it was kind of like interesting for them to see that many people that knew me or might have not known me was throwing money into the brand, basically supporting the business. So that was really what caught their eyes. Before even, getting creative and telling them what Motherland is about and going back home and doing certain things, it was just all about, everybody supporting this kid.
Okay.
So people was just supporting the movement just because.
Okay. And you said like you tell people what it's about. So what is Straight Out of Motherland about? What's the foundations of it? What does that mean to you?
So Straight Out the Motherland is basically a brand that was built to represent each person's country. Whether you come from Jamaica, you're African, you're Spanish, any type, and it's basically saying that regardless of where you're from, we're all united as one. So you may have a motherland, I have a motherland, and Rel may have a motherland, Aaron may have a motherland. So it's basically just saying is basically just built for all of us to embrace each other as one. Okay. So with that being said, I was able to also grow the message and reinvent it when it came to marketing. Just showing people exactly what it meant, either through, the merchandise or through creativity, going back home. So that's how it was basically built. And the brand itself is going to be timeless because the meaning is forever going to go on.
What is your background?
So I come from the west side, Guinea. I've been there for 2 years when I was young. I've never been home until the time I started the clothing line, and I really wanted to get back into showing them the creative side and what it really meant. So, yeah, I live on the small side. One of the neighborhoods my father is from, and just my last name itself, Dion, is of basically a whole village of houses under the same last name, and it's called Bambeto. So it's pretty cool. My goal is to go back every December, starting from this year, if I can, and basically just shed the light on where I come from.
And if you can recommend a Guinea dish, what would it be? What's your favorite dish?
Man. Jollof rice, I say.
Okay.
Jollof rice, yeah. Which is from every other place in Africa. Now, people from all parts of Africa are always gonna try to tell you, theirs is the best, or theirs is the best. It goes back and forth, but definitely, I'd say jollof rice.
Did you have any other passions before this whole branding came? What was your passions before that?
Yeah, I used to play basketball.
Are you better than Rel?
Mo was nice.
He can answer that.
Mo was nice.
Rel, is he better than you?
I don't play ball, but I play for fun, so I'm gonna say yeah.
In your group, who's the best? And if you can rank them from best to worst.
From best to worst, it's a lot of us, bro.
Yeah,
it's a lot of us. I have a lot of friends that turn family, but listen, they not here to defend themselves, but I'm gonna put myself as top one.
So you're better than Darko?
Darko can answer that for you.
Mo not fucking with me, but Mo, listen, me and Mo different position. So, I ain't gonna lie, Mo got more buckets than me at Mount Carmel than I got buckets. I say that for sure.
So a game to 11, Mo versus Darko, what's the score?
How?
A lot to a little.
How?
If we play a game where after you score, another person gets the ball back. Because he's gonna try to do is just
he's talking about stops. He's talking about stops.
He's gonna try to
okay, like
take
basically
advantage.
If you make the shot, there's no possessions after, you gotta check it up right away, even if you miss.
Yeah, you get one shot and then the other person gets the ball.
How, Mo?
Because he's gonna try to play bully ball with me.
Or jump shots.
And how was that feeling leaving basketball behind and focusing on branding?
I'm still. It's hard to get over it. It's hard to get over it. I try to look at the youth now that supports Motherland within New York City. Mm-hmm. Most of these guys is basketball players. So I try to live my the vision that I wanted with basketball, and I try to basically leave it with them. And that's pretty much the most easiest way for me to get through that, to see the younger the younger me within the youth in New York City now. That is playing at these schools, which is also represent Motherland. So I feel like my purpose is still there.
Did you meet most of your friends through basketball? Did you meet bro through basketball, or this is like?
We went to school together. I met Darko through basketball. Most of the basketball community support Motherland in New York. So that's also another thing that also really helped the brand evolve quicker in New York City was through basketball.
Okay. And I always ask this question: what's the funniest story you guys have together?
Yo, these two right here, clowns.
The funniest story.
Funniest story.
The funniest story,
no.
we can't talk about that. Alright? But you know. The funniest story of me and Aaron, I could remember was I think I had a pop-up shop in Soho. So I had this pop-up shop November 28th on 2020. And it's always been something that I wanted to do, and I've thought about it consistently for a very long time. And we really made it happen. But the week before that, we was just preparing. We was going back to my house where I had all the product inventory for the pop-up shop. I dragged Aaron along with me. I don't know what this man was doing throughout the days, but we would roll together at night just to make sure we got everything that we need to get ready for the pop-up shop. Now, my friends actually turned into staff members, and Aaron was another one who used to follow me back and forth into my house, into the actual venue in Soho. Now, going back and forth, like this dude would be straight sleeping throughout the rides back and forth many times. I remember there was this one time we was trying to pour water on him, slap him or something, and this dude was just in the car sleep talking. He heard everything that we was saying. We over here whispering, pour water, and he's just sleeping like, on who? Not on me, not on me. You know, but if we got the clip, we'll send it to you. We'll have you put it in the interview. You just got to see it to really understand.
And if you guys all go to the club, who's the most lit one?
Scales.
I don't go to the club like that.
Scales.
But that's the man right there, though.
What do you do that makes everything lit?
Pop Smoke.
Money, all that.
Pop Smoke.
He lit.
You love Pop Smoke.
You love Pop Smoke.
He lit.
Rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
And back to that funny story, I want to know, you spoke about pop-up shops. What are the logistics of getting a pop-up shop? How hard is it? Is it easy, like, for, upcoming brands? Because I don't know, like, I feel like pop-up shops is very, like, hard to get because, like, you have to get a store for a day. Like, what's the logistics behind it?
You gotta have a market first. I feel like if you have a market and you have support, like anything can happen. Anything can happen, you know. Like I started off with literally 20 customers and it just doubled throughout the days. And before I had that pop-up shop, I had my first pop-up shop in a barber shop. You understand? And I didn't know what to do. All I needed was product at one location. And I knew I had the market. You know, I just didn't have the actual place. So randomly had it at a pop-up shop. I didn't have no staff members. All I had was product and myself with a Motherland hoodie and another outfit. I didn't have no cash box. I didn't have no staff. I just had friends all around the venue. I had people online. And as you go along, certain steps you understand, like it's certain things that you just need. Like for a venue, you need a team. If you're going to have a pop-up shop, and if you know you have a market and you know people are willing to wait online, you need people to accommodate the ones that's outside. You need somebody at the register. You know what I'm saying?
All these things, all these lessons that you learned, what is one lesson you learned now that you wish you knew when you first started?
When I first started, one lesson. That's hard. That's hard. Definitely, um, if your purpose for your brand is bigger than you, and bigger than just your area or your corner or your block or wherever you come from, um, if you do want to open up to having a team, and when you do have a team, understand that it isn't a boss to a worker type of thing. When you have a team, for them to really work as hard as you or be inspired, or for them to love what they do the same way you do, is you basically have to make sure that they understand the message and understand the vision.
Okay.
You know, because you could have a team and say you have a team and say you're a CEO, when the CEO part doesn't really make sense with the team, or your message and what you believe in isn't something that your team would. So it's very important to understand that it isn't a boss and worker type of thing. It's more of
A group effort.
yeah, how can we all understand the same vision, and how can we all meet each other there by everybody playing their part?
Okay. And another thing with marketing, digital marketing,
Yeah.
Instagram, you got the models. You got a lot of baddies on there, I'm not going to lie. So how do you approach to a model to, is there a specific requirements that you want for a model to, to model in clothing, or it doesn't matter, you just want as much models as you can?
For me, definitely not as much as models, because and I mean this with everything, not only just models, but you always want quality more than quantity. So if I could shoot with a consistent numeral of models, and it's 4 rather than just a new 4 every time, I would rather stick with the 4, as long as it's if I could envision them and see Motherland in them.
Okay.
So, and definitely if I could work with somebody that's more tilted towards the brand, and that's not there just to offer a service. And that's what everything too. You probably have people you may interview, and sometimes it's just business, but you have the ones that you interview and you really enjoy them, and outside of work, y'all probably really building connections. So it really matters about.
That's how I felt with Darko. I was like, about that connection after the freestyle.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely, the ones that's more for you or for the brand, the ones that you could build a family or a good amount of network around, I think, are the ones that you should choose.
Okay. And, we're in 2022. We're in the second quarter, that's more for rap, but I want to know, what's your plans for the rest of the year? Are you planning to do a summer drop, fall drop? What type of, is it going to be different items you got added? Because I know you did hoodies, you did varsity jackets, you done, hats. Are you going to add different, materials? Or what's the plans for the 2022?
So for 2022, it's a lot. I really don't like to announce. I'm not going to lie. I don't like to announce because, so for me, I like to plan things a year ahead. Now the goal is to make sure everything falls in a play. And the best thing for me is when I first started till now, I've always been mysterious, and I think that's what people enjoy most about the brand, because people are able to find out certain information where it's so urgent, because the fact that it's no specific warning, but when it is out, it comes with a creative rollout, or it comes with colors that match the season, or anything specific, so personally, I'm a creator, so everything I like to create is something that's always going to be tasteful or pleasing to the eye, so yeah, I definitely say that Motherland has a lot in store for 2022, and definitely in the near future after that. But best thing I could say is just make sure your eyes are open. If not, then I guess you'll just have to pick up.
And more about the future. Are you guys the type of brand? Would you ever collab with another clothing brand, or are you the type that you just want to continue single? A lot of clothing brands don't collab. A lot of you see the whole off-white Jordans and everything. Are you willing to collab with another brand, or not right now, or in the near future?
Both. I'm looking to collab. I'm also not looking to collab. I'm not looking to collab because of one thing. Brand is 4 years old for the time that I had it under control. It's 4 years old, and since I first started till now, the amount of notoriety that it has gotten would not be a reason why I wouldn't do a collab, but is pretty much more of I'm trying to find Motherland's like its own basically like its own structure. So when you look at a shirt, it's Motherland, or when you look at a street corner, that's Motherland having a pop-up shop. So it's basically trying to find Motherland's own identity. It's basically when you have a child and it's growing up, you have certain seeds that you plant into the child. So Motherland is basically my child, and I'm trying to really create its own sauce. So when it does grow and it gets older and it does enter the world of many different brands, you're able to identify. So definitely before I start the collabs, I rather make sure people are able to identify and diversify. So
okay. And I want to get into the fact that, you said, Motherland is, the foundation, you're creating everything. Are you willing to work with, like another brand? Would you ever, pick up, another brand and work, start from the back up another, clothing brand? Or you think this is going to have one? Because, you see, clothing brands have their main, and then they have, a little subsection and everything like that. Would you ever consider doing that, or you just want to focus on one brand only?
A subsection of brands?
Yeah, another.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So for Motherland, its purpose and its meaning is bigger than me personally. So from year 1 to year 4 of me running this line has been everything that I can bring to the table. As far as running a clothing line. Okay. Now, this is definitely going to be something that's going to be bigger than me and just bigger than the area where I come from, where we come from. So the idea is to, branch out into other things. I won't really touch into it as much, but the idea is to definitely have departments that can touch in many different areas, deeper than clothing as well.
All right, and I want to know, who is that one person that reached out that you were so surprised that they even tuned in, or wearing your brand or wants? Who's that one person for you? Oh wow, I'm doing something. Not even that, not even you're doing something, because you've been doing something even without that person. But I'm saying who is that one person you were surprised that they were actually in tune with your clothing brand?
My hometown. My hometown, yeah. Okay. My hometown. For me, it really isn't about really who exactly, because whether if it's an NBA player or whether if it's an artist, there's always a market. You understand? They're always going to be wearing clothes, and they're always going to be having options, and they're going to know their brands. Now, the goal for, the superstars and everything is to really make sure that if Motherland is going to be in that market, to make sure that we cover some ground. So the hot space of the superstars or celebrities is definitely small. I would definitely love for the brand to grow there, but as of now, of what's been most fulfilling to me overall, from having my product out in the world, the most that I've been happy about or been freaked out about was being able to have my brand back into my hometown in Africa.
Okay, and since you're getting a lot of traction with your brand right now, do you feel have you ever seen fake love? People that didn't support in the beginning, now just trying to support or even get next to you now because you're so like, your brand is becoming way bigger than it once was. Have you ever seen that before where, people are trying to get close to you that weren't supporting at first or like, oh, I'll buy it, but later. But now they're like, yo, can
So within that being said, it's happened plenty of times. I'm kind of immune to it now, and I'm not mad at it. I just understand that they didn't understand the vision, and what could you do? You can't just say I'm not going to sell you a product. So most definitely, they may feel a little crazy about it, but sometimes they have no choice because they see, everything that's surrounding them may be, the same person I turned down and now it's all around me. So it's pretty much of, you didn't understand the vision, but, we still appreciate you,
Okay. And my last question, I always ask this question, what type of legacy do you want to build with the brand straight out of the motherland?
I just want to be able to go back home and empower and really create something that's going to be generational, and something that's just bigger than myself. I understand what it takes to run a clothing line or create sales or create something that a state or a big city can, represent. That's the goal for to basically have my tri-state area all representing the product that I created. But most importantly, if I can have something that can be built that's bigger than me, that'll be the goal.
Okay. And where people can find you as a CEO and also the brand on Instagram or anything, like the website, everything.
So website straightoutthemotherland.com, Instagram straightoutthemotherland, and from there you can definitely find myself. But once again, it isn't about me. This interview isn't about me. It is about me, but the goal and the message is really for Straight Out the Motherland. So as long as the website or the page is communicated, I think I did my part.
All right. Thank you for coming through.
For sure. Appreciate you.